Hey guys, Shadylikeatree here, and welcome into NBA in the Zone 98. This is one of my all-time favorite basketball games, and I think it's better than NBA Live up until the last NBA Live I played, which was 2006. Before we get into why I like this game, and I'm going to share a couple stories with this game, I should say that NBA in the Zone 98 was released on February 10th, 1998, developed and published by Konami Games. I cannot confirm a release date for the PlayStation. That was the N64 release date. I'm going to assume that they were the same day, but this game was released on both N64 and PlayStation 1. And back in the day, I played this on my PlayStation 1, and I had that 13-dial 1980s color TV that just was absolutely atrocious. And look at this, Ron Harper with a dunk. And you know, it was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to come back and play this. I actually I played this for like a whole hour. I was just sitting over playing for an hour and didn't realize how much time we had left, so I actually played for way longer. And I'm actually going to upload probably on Tuesday, tomorrow I guess, or maybe Wednesday. Tuesday as in next week, after the next episode. I might upload it on Sunday, I don't know. I have an All-Star game, first quarter, 5 minutes of that game, so I thought I might show that off to you guys, and just so you can see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But anyway, this game, it's really, really advanced for its time graphically, as you guys can see. This is, 97 graphics, released early in 98. And, it looks better than Madden 2000 in my opinion. Now, granted, there's only 10 players on the field instead of, 22 for football. But still, it looks great. They used 64 points of reference. I don't know how that, CGI stuff works. Or not CGI, but that motion capture stuff works. But they used Glenn Rice as a player model, I do believe. And that is the second time Dennis Rodman has just walked the ball out of bounds. This game is pretty easy to play, pretty fun to play. I suggest if you guys have a PlayStation 1 or a PlayStation 2 that you pick it up and give it a shot. The graphics on PlayStation are significantly better than they are, in my opinion, on N64. The game just looks more polished for some reason. And I'm not exactly sure why, but it's really easy to score. It's really easy to have fun during this game and doing this game and all that comes with that. But why this game is so fun to me is I used to play this for really two reasons. I used to play the season mode with the 98 Chicago Bulls and try to win the championship, which I did with regularity. I'm not going to lie. Oh, look at that little move. Too bad he missed a shot. Wow, only 4 points in the first quarter. That's pretty bad. I feel like with this game, there is just some intrinsic value with it, and there's this just, I don't know, something about this game is just fun to me, and that's because I think this was about the time that I got into basketball, like when I really started to watch basketball. I had always watched the tournaments with my dad. I'm a big Duke Blue Devils basketball fan for no other reason than the fact that my dad would always talk about Coach K and all of his good players, and they were really good every year, and they sort of became one of my favorite teams, and I just like to watch them for some reason. And should have blocked that shot. But because of that, and this was kind of the time too, I should mention our guard right here, that is actually Michael Jordan's player. But because he wasn't, I guess, a part of the NBA Players Union at the time, or some weird reason, he wasn't allowing teams to use his likeness in game, which is why I think it's a big deal that he's allowing NBA 2K whatever to use his likeness. Vitaly Potapinko, I don't even remember that guy. He's letting schools use it, or games use his likeness, so that's kind of cool. But I mean, he's still pretty good. And two, I should mention that pretty much all the players, minus their different heights and weights, are like all the same. Like, you don't notice a speed difference in some players. You don't notice a stealing ability difference in any player. They really don't have ratings. Nobody has any ratings in this game. It's just, I base players I pick on their 1997, 1998 stats, thinking that maybe they included some sort of ranking system when it comes to that. I don't really know. That's all you can really hope for. So that's what I've done with this game. But anyway, back to Michael Jordan, I guess, and kind of why I'm fond of this particular year of NBA in the Zone. This was the year that Michael Jordan won the championship in 1998. He won 6, of course, as we all know. Anyone that watches American basketball would know. He was one of the greatest players of all time, maybe the greatest. A lot of people have argued for and against that, and I have no problem either way. But what made him so good was the fact that he had really good athletes around him. Scottie Pippen is arguably one of the best defenders of all time, as is Dennis Rodman. Both of them are in the Basketball Hall of Fame. Ron Harper was point guard for just about everybody and their mom when they won championships. I think Ron Harper ended up with like 9 championships, I want to say, when it was all said and done. I could be very wrong about that. But, Ron Harper, this whole team was good. They had Tony Kukoc as one of the best Serbian players, or wherever he was from, Czechoslovakian players, to come from there. They had Steve Kerr, who is one of the greatest three-point shooters of all time. He now does TV announcing for TNT, I believe. They had Phil Jackson, arguably one of the greatest coaches of all time. And this was just a great team filled with great players, and even the role players like Ron Harper, Luke Longley, Tony Kukoc, Bill Winnington, all those guys could play. And they could play really good ball, which is why they won 6 times in 6 times in 8 years, I think it was. So, and I actually this is the story I was going to tell. I actually made it out to see Michael Jordan play one time when I was about 10 years old. It was my 10th birthday, I think it was. Yeah, it was my 10th birthday. No, 9th birthday. Sorry. I think, yeah. It was in the playoffs. It was in Indiana. It was against Indiana in the Staples Center? No, I don't remember the name of where the Chicago Bulls play. I forget. United Center, maybe. And I had seen we were about 8 or 9 rows from the top, and I can just remember seeing it was just amazing. Seeing basketball live is pretty fun, especially professional basketball. And I can just remember him that was the game where he shot the game winner against Indiana, and Reggie Miller was just beside himself because he was doing everything he possibly could, and it just wasn't enough, which was a lot of what happened at the time period. Just whatever anyone else could do just wasn't generally enough to win. So with all of that, I guess I kind of liked basketball, and since then we haven't really had a team of people that everyone has liked, or has everyone's think, okay, yeah, they're legit. A lot of the Miami Heat team, they have the big 3, and then we had the Boston team that was before them, and it's just kind of everyone hates LeBron from where I'm from, and D Wade's an okay guy, but Chris Bosh just seems like a giant douchebag. But Jordan and Pippen were generally good guys. Luke Longley was the guy that everyone wanted to be neighbors with, and Dennis Rodman was just absolutely fucking nuts. And here I'm holding for the last shot, but kind of with that territory comes this, and watch this. He's about to make this legit shot from right here, and I was pissed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me that he just made this shot? And here I'm going the length of the court just to try to put it up, but I can't catch it. You can't tip it towards the net. But I was, I remember just falling in love with basketball, and at this young age, and just remember, playing it, because I played basketball. I'm a pretty good athlete, especially for a big man. I wasn't always big. Back then, I was actually pretty quick and pretty not big. But, there were so many good players. There was now we've got guys like Dirk and LeBron and Chris Bosh and, D Wade and players like that, Derrick Rose. But, you don't have Stockton Malone. You don't have Jordan and Pippen. You don't have Shaq and Kobe hadn't even started yet, You don't have Gary the Glove Payton, who could absolutely just play the defense off of anybody and their mom. You don't have Jason Kidd is not the player he was 10 years ago when he could make these passes that were just absolutely fucking ridiculous. And he could do all this ridiculous shit. And you don't have David Robinson and Tim Duncan holding down the San Antonio Spurs backcourt with Sean Elliott on the wing, Vinny Del Negro being the shooting guard, Nick Van Exel running the point. You don't have that anymore, and I think that's something that basketball has lost. I mean, you don't have these guys that just play together and play hard and shut up. Everyone these days in basketball, at least it seems, is just all about number one, and they're not. The teams aren't as good. I feel like that's just as a whole. the teams in the NBA aren't as good as they once were. And you're going to notice some weird breaks, like right here. That's the timeout. For some reason, the computer calls timeout whenever they get the ball with under a minute to go in the game. So it's just a really weird kind of situation and whatnot. And so every time they get the ball, they're going to call a timeout. But, the game is almost over now. So I just thought I'd share you guys why I like, basketball and why this game is so fun to me. Because this is Jordan's last year, and I kind of ignore the fact that he came back in 2002, 2003 with the Bullets because he was not a good player. He was, I would say, very below average and hurt the Bullets to some degree. Sure, he made his money back in ticket sales, but he really helped and watched me block that shot. Get out of here. Get that weak shit out of here. I want that weak sauce gone. And we also had Sean Kemp back in these days, too. We had Sean Kemp. He was a pretty good player until he started doing cocaine or whatever the fuck got him in trouble. Block that shit. Oh, damn. And here's the first foul of the game, in the fourth quarter. So it was really hard to foul, too, and it was really arbitrary if you fouled someone or didn't foul someone. But, yeah, I am so just excited that I got this game. I found this at VGMX, Video Game and Music Exchange, I feel like is what that's called. And this is a nifty little store, but it was a lot of fun to play this, and I love doing these episodes and these videos because it's fun to go back and play and even get into these games. I played for 2 hours for here. I've played just absolute the shit out of Tiger Woods 2004. But yeah, so here's another timeout, and I hope you guys are enjoying the series because I know that I certainly am. But if not, then oh well, because I'm still gonna do them no matter what. And the game's about to end right here because the computer sucks, and I win 32-19. Michael Jordan's character 10 points, 9 steals, 2 assists, and we win 32-19. And this has been episode 14 of Reminiscing with Shady. I certainly hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you on Monday with this episode I believe 15. Thanks, guys.